It's Chloe here from the Chloe Bruce Academy. Today is going to be slightly different. I'm going to do a Q&A session. So for the last week, I've been asking you guys to submit questions that you've wanted to know the answers to. And today I'll be answering as many of those questions as I can. I probably won't get around to everyone's questions, but quite a few of them are very similar. So I will be answering the main bulk of the questions I've received. Just for ease of this video, and if there's something in particular that you want to know my answer to, I am going to be doing a time frame, okay, which will be coming after this intro, which will give you a heads up on all the questions in the video and whereabouts in the video they'll fall. Also, moving forward, all the answers to these questions are my views on the answers to your questions. So that will basically be the way that I've trained, the advice that I would give you, and my advice on how I would answer the question from a personal perspective, okay? So let's get cracking with today's Q&A session. How much time should I spend on warm-ups and cool-downs, and are they the same exercise, or would you do different exercises for the warm-up as opposed to the cool-down? So, first off, a warm-up is something energetic, cardio-based, that will get the blood pumping, really get you warm to prepare your muscles for exercise. So for me, a warm-up would be something like skipping, jogging, star jumps, something energetic, cardio-based that's going to get the heart pumping, okay? And that will naturally, gradually warm your body up for the session that you're about to do. Now, after that warm-up, I would then do something called a dynamic stretch sequence, which will continue warming your body up, but it would also lengthen your muscles to prepare yourself for that training session as well. So this would be, say for example, I'm doing a kick session that day. I would do dynamic stretches like front swings, side swings, hip open swings, something dynamic that's going to also continue warming your body but also stretch you slightly at the same time and prepare you for your training session. Then obviously I would do the training session itself, however long that would last. Then I would do a cool down. Now for me personally, a cool down would then be a static stretch, okay? More of an active static stretch, because at that point at the end of the training session, your body's going to be at its warmest, okay? And then that's the great time to then stretch your muscles to gain flexibility. If that's not what you want to do, then you can do a quick cool down for around 5 minutes. Which would be absolutely fine. Just do some stretching and gradually let the body cool down whilst you're doing that. On the other hand, if you want to improve your flexibility, I'd suggest to do like an active cool down of around 15 minutes and static stretch. So a static stretch is a stretch which is static, so you're not moving throughout the stretch, which is the difference between the static and the dynamic. Dynamic, you're continuously moving, you don't hold a stretch. So the static cool down at the end would be static stretches, and that I would hold them for around 30 seconds to a minute long. And at that point, your body is cooling down, but as well, it's your time to use that time while your body's at its warmest and most mobile to stretch the muscles, okay, and gain the flexibility there. So time frame, I would do a warm up of cardio base for at least 5-10 minutes, dynamic stretches for around 5 minutes, then your active training session, strength, cardio, whatever that is, and then at the end I would do a static stretch. Depending on what you want to achieve and how much time you have, you can do a static stretch for 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, entirely up to you. So my next question is, how often should I stretch to really improve flexibility for splits and high kicks? And would stretching every day be beneficial, or would it be great to have a rest in between? So I definitely recommend having rest days. That gives your body time to repair the muscles, because basically when you do stretch, you put little tears in the muscles, which then need time to repair to then be able to then be re-stretched. If you're continuously stretching, you can actually have an adverse effect on what you're trying to achieve, okay? Time frame. I personally, if you really want to improve your flexibility and also your flexibility for kicking, I would run flexibility and stretching alongside strengthening exercises, which actually I'm bringing a program out soon which does exactly that. Because a lot of people come to me and say, I can do the split, so why can't I hold my kick up 180? The answer purely is that you haven't got the strength alongside the flexibility to do so. So I would do an active stretching session as well as dynamic drills, leg strengthening exercises, and again, depending on the person and the individual. So if you're completely new to this, you may want to only stretch and do this kind of exercises once or twice a week. I'd recommend twice a week. So maybe every 3 days. If you're an intermediate and you've been training in some kind of sport or yoga or anything like that, something active for say 2 or 3 years, then every other day or every 2 days, entirely up to you. But listen to your body. If your body's really sore, take a break and come back to it, okay? Just tune into your body. It's so important to be connected to yourself, to understand your body and how it functions. Every single person is completely different. If you're really used to training, used to pushing yourself, used to pushing through boundaries, then you can train and stretch like that probably 5-6 days a week, okay? Take 1 or 2 rest days and you'll be absolutely fine. When I was on the British team, we used to train 6 days a week, have 1 rest day, and it was absolutely fine. Really listen to your body is the key to maintaining and improving flexibility. Moving forwards, hi Chloe, why did you remove the Flexi Friday YouTube channel? It contained videos of you and your sister, but unfortunately they've been deleted. So for those of you that don't know, Flexi Friday used to be a channel that me and my sister did on YouTube, and it was called Flexi Friday. And every Friday we would put out a stretching tutorial. It was highly successful, but it got too demanding for my sister and I to catch up once a week. Our jobs, myself having children, to catch up and meet every week. So we decided to go our separate ways on the channels. Now Grace is producing her own content, I'm producing my own content, and Grace does a lot of lifestyle stuff, dance as well. And I'm like purely martial arts, yoga, stretching, flexibility based. So we just felt it was a really good time to start afresh, do our own content and move forward from there. However, I still do have the library of content that we produced on Flexi Friday together, and most of them I have resubmitted but filmed myself, or Grace has resubmitted and filmed herself. So don't feel like you're missing out, guys. The material and the content is still there and more. Next question is, will I be doing any more weapons tutorials? Definitely is the answer to that. I'm going to slowly introduce them and integrate them into my YouTube channel, and I will also be doing a full bow staff weapons course, okay? A program that you can learn from beginner to elite. People have asked me also if I'll be doing nunchuck tutorials, sword tutorials. I will definitely be putting some of them on my YouTube. However, I probably won't be developing a program for them, as my main focus and love in weapons is bow staff, and that's what I've really studied and developed over the years. So definitely 100% more weapons tutorials will be coming your way. What is your favorite memory from the set of Blade Runner 2049? Your martial arts moves and kicks really brought these action scenes to life. So first off, a big thank you for your kind words. I'm glad you enjoyed the movie and the scenes that I was a part of. One of my favorite memories, unfortunately you guys didn't get to see. The scene was deleted, And it was such an amazing scene. It was all my crazy kicking, the scorpion kicks in there, and I was beating up 3 guys on a subway. I don't know why the scene got deleted. In fact, I'm going to share the rehearsal footage that I have with you all here now. So what did you think? Do you think that should have been included? I do. Yeah, that was my favourite memory. It was such an awesome scene to rehearse, and really good memories I had doing it. A good memory I had from the actual film, which we did shoot and which was in the film, was the fight in the water. We did that all through night shoots. It was a really tough fight to film. I don't know if anyone's tried kicking when you're soaking wet in water, but it's so much harder than I initially thought it would be. So that again is a great memory of mine. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed that film. So I've had a number of emails saying, "Hi Chloe, I'm 22 years old, how can I get flexible? Hi Chloe, I'm 30 years old, is it possible to get flexible?" And so on, okay? So there isn't actually an answer to your question direct. Without knowing your history, knowing who you are, knowing which sports you've trained in or done throughout your life so far, knowing your state and level of flexibility at this current moment in time. But let me tell you this, I don't know if this is going to help you. If you've had splits before and it was something that you could do quite easily, your muscles have something called muscle memory, okay? If you've been there before, there is a chance that you will be able to get there again, okay? It may take a lot more harder work because you're a lot older now. Your muscles may have stiffened up, got more restrictions within them. It's such a hard question to answer without knowing you as a person. So for example, if you haven't trained or done anything, any sports, any kind of stretching, anything for the last 10 years, and prior to that your level of flexibility wasn't there, or you didn't really have a level of flexibility or splits, then the chances of you being able to gain splits randomly at the age of 30, 40, 50 would be really hard. Okay, you'd really have to push yourself and work hard. I'm not saying it's not possible, but it would be a lot harder. If, however, you've not trained in 5-10 years, but prior to that you was a gymnast, a martial artist, a dancer, you could do splits in all 3 directions, I would say yes, you could develop the flexibility, get the muscle memory working, and get a level of splits back. There are cases where I've had students come to me who haven't had any history of training or flexibility training, and they've gained splits as well. So I can't directly answer that question, but I hope the insight of the answer that I've just given you helps somewhat. If you want a more direct answer, then please feel free to email me, and I will get some history of yours and see the kind of training that you have done or previous history of training, and I'll be able to give you a more direct answer. But just from reading those questions, it's really, really hard for me to give you an answer. So here's a nice question. How have you been, and how are your family? I've been very well, thank you, and my family are doing really well. We've been on lockdown for what feels like forever. The shops are just starting to reopen and just slowly returning back to normality. For those of you that don't know, I've got 2 children. One's just turned 3 and one is about to turn 1. So lockdown's been pretty tough with those, trying to keep them entertained. But myself and my partner Adam have been coping really well. He's been helping me to look after the children so that I can come in the studio and film. But other than that, we're doing very, very well, thank you. And I hope all of you guys are doing well also. So this question is slightly different. How often do you kick a heavy bag and do you train with weight? Weight training in general, I don't really do, just because my body itself can bulk up pretty quickly, and I do a lot of stunt work and need to stunt double for actresses, and with them being all slim and stick thin, I need to keep pretty toned and stay quite slim, so not have too much muscle definition and so on. However, for the kicking and to get the speed within my kicks and stuff like that, I do use ankle weights. So I do a lot of kick training with ankle weights on. And kicking a heavy bag, I do, but not really so much for strength, but more so for cardio. So I'll kick a bag for like 1 minute on, 10 seconds rest. Another minute on, 10 seconds rest. And that to me is such a good cardio workout. How often do you suggest doing your dynamic leg workout? So I'll add the link in the description below for the dynamic workout that you're referring to. But for me and my body, I would do a dynamic workout every time I wanted to stretch, because I think the two run side by side so well. And developing the strength as well as the flexibility is what's enabled me to be able to do all the kicks and have the control over my kicks that I do. However, again, going back to some of my previous answers, I cannot give you an answer. So I can't say I recommend you doing it 5-6 days a week, because if you're a complete beginner, I wouldn't recommend that. So just listen to your body, know where you are, and like I said before, if you're a beginner, I would recommend doing it twice a week maybe, to start off, and then progress to like 3 times a week, every other day. And then over the period of say a year, if you was to stick to that regime, you should be able to do this video 5 days a week, or a dynamic leg sequence 5 days a week, 6 days a week, and have 1 or 2 rest days. So someone here has said, I recall that you say you were going to produce in a course to increase leg strength for kicks. Is that still coming out, and when? Yes, I am. I'm in the editing suite every chance I get at the moment to edit the material. I've filmed everything. I'm hoping for a release date of the 1st of July, but I will let you guys know when it's out. And it's the most ultimate program I've ever created. If you want to improve the flexibility and strength within your kicks, I highly recommend taking it. It will be a 6 weeks course. But also you'll get the material for like a year if you pay for the program, and it will really benefit you and give you an insight to the training that I've done since I was a little girl. I've had nothing but success from this program with all my students, so I'm really excited to release this program. So this question says, hi Chloe, I've been a fan of yours for a very long time. You've been an inspiration throughout my life in martial arts. I have recently experienced some setbacks, including major injuries and setbacks with my career. So my question is, have you ever experienced setbacks from injuries or in your career, and how have you overcome them and stayed motivated afterwards? Now this question is a very important question. Setbacks are part of life. Every single one of us will experience setbacks at some point, and if you haven't already, then I'm sure you will at some stage within your life. And it's all down to this, okay, as to how you deal with them and bounce back. I've had injuries where I've been able to train, where I've been able to do my career. And I've also had setbacks mentally where I've just felt like chucking in the towel and giving up. I'm just like you guys. I know that I post every day pretty much inspirational stuff for you all to see, but I'm only human, and sometimes I do sit there and cry and think, oh gosh, worry about this, or you know, something's got me, an injury, or and I'm not gonna lie, I'm the most miserable person sometimes if I'm injured and I can't train or do my career or do my job or do my passion. I've just learned, I've always been a very focused person, and I've always seen my vision. So I look forward instead of looking back. So don't dwell on the past. If you've been injured, if you've had a setback from your career, don't dwell on it. It's happened. It's unfortunate that it's happened, but it's happened. So then from there, I focus on the end goal of where I want to be in, say, a month's time, 2 months' time, a year's time. And I try and focus on the positive from this. So for example, even when I had my little girl, I've been a stunt woman since 2010. And when I fell pregnant, it was, okay, I have to stop immediately. I can't do stunts anymore. And I found that really hard. But I sat there and thought, right, okay, there's going to be beauty at the end of this. I'm going to have a little baby, which is going to be a life-changing experience in itself. But what can I do with these next 9 months that can change my focus? So I've smashed into YouTube again to give back to you guys. I created the Clobri's Training Hub, which is an ongoing process, and I will continue to put as much time and energy as I can into that. And I then thought, well, what can I do that's not going to be as strenuous on the body? So I did my PT course, just to have another qualification under my belt, and my yoga course. So I just think there's always something you can do. When I had an ankle injury, I said to myself, okay, so I can't do anything on my feet as such, but okay, so I can improve my upper body strength, and I can do upper body training and stuff like that. So I think there's always something that you can do, and you've got to find light. If you don't and you sit in the dark, that's when your brain will just go in overdrive and just think negative. But I'm a big believer in what you think you attract into in the world. So I think you've just got to stay positive, or as positive as you can. I know that, you know, sometimes we all have dark moments, but just think about, okay, my next goal is going to be this. Whether that's even just to take a step, or to raise your arm, or to smile, okay? Just some of the simplest things can transform your energy and transform the way you're thinking into something so positive. So my direct answer to you would be I don't know which injury you've had, and I don't know what career setback you've had. So just be patient with it. That injury will heal. Every day you're healing. So it's only a matter of time before you'll be back on your feet again. And the same with a career. You may have had a career setback, but find a way around it. Your atmosphere around you is so important to how you handle situations. So just try and focus on good energy, good people around you, and have good support. And just be thankful for what you do have. It's so hard to look back and think, oh, I haven't done this, this, and this. But instead of doing that, instead of being negative, look back and think, wow, look how far I've come, and look at what I've achieved. And be proud of yourself for what you have achieved already. So this question is an interesting one. List every movie you've been in and what was your best experience. This is a hard one because off the top of my head, I don't even know if I can remember all of them. But one of my first ones was John Carter of Mars, followed by World War Z, Wrath of the Titans, Thor, Guardians of the Galaxy, Star Wars The Force Awakens, Star Wars The Last Jedi, Blade Runner 2049, The Mummy. They're the main ones that I can think of right now, off the top of my head. One of the best experiences for me was, I'd have to say 2 films. So first off, Star Wars, because I love weapons, obviously, and the day I got handed the lightsaber in my hand, and you press a button, it actually lights up. It's not CG. That was just incredible. I was just like, wow, I've actually got a lightsaber in my hand. So that memory will always stick with me. And also another job that was so much fun was Guardians of the Galaxy, because I had so much involvement with Zoe Saldana, who I doubled. And she said to me, basically from the word go, that me and you are playing the same character, and I want you to do all the action and I'll be doing the acting. So pretty much all the action that you see in that movie was me, which was just so much fun to be so involved. Every actress that you double have different wishes, so some want to do a lot more than others, and it's totally down to them as long as they're safe. So that one for me holds a special place in my heart because I did so much on that job and it was just so much fun. Every day I was pretty much filming some kind of action, whether that be running, jumping, fighting, getting thrown around on a wire. But yeah, so much fun to be involved with that film. So guys, I think that takes us to the end of today's video. I don't want to keep going on so much more. I'm sorry if I haven't got around to answering your questions, but I think I might do a Q&A session once a month. Maybe we'll go live in future. It might be an easier way of doing that. Yeah, I hope you enjoy this. I've not really done a Q&A session in forever, like I said, which is why I wanted to do it, to give back answers to you guys, to help with your training and your movement as well in life. Leave a comment below if you enjoyed it. If you have any other questions regarding my answers, please fire them at me as well. And like I said, if I haven't got round to your question this time, I think I will be doing one of these a month, so I'll get round to you next time. Take care guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye!